Okay.
Let's get it on!
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Warriors with the Ducross brothers, Sean and Tristan Ducross. We have an incredible guest on our show joining us in the Warriors Den. Incredible new combat thing going on right now. Huge announcement going to be broken right on our show. Karate Combat, the CEO, Mike DiPietro. Welcome to the Sports Warriors. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. Now, there's one, as we get ready to go into the announcement of Karate Combat, the next event that you guys are going to be doing here, one thing that I was doing a little bit of background with you guys was what stands out? What's different between you guys and World of Combat? Because I think that's going to be brought up now as you guys continue to grow, where the difference really begins with you guys.
Well, I mean, in World Combat League, you're talking about World Combat League, Chuck Norris's league?
Yes.
Yeah, that was done, back in the day, and, that required boxing gloves and whatnot, and, it was more of a kickboxing art. I mean, I know they had some shaped, angled wall, but it was only 13 degrees. Ours is 45 degrees, plus it's patent pending, so we basically have applied for a patent to own every single fighting arena with an angled wall. So, that's very different. Our fighters from all around the world, we represent over 30 countries right now, and they're all top karate athletes. So with regard to the rule set, it's not about kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA. It's about pure form, long fighting from a karate perspective, and we've adjusted the rules to do so.
Michael DiPietro here from Karate Combat, the CEO. How did this thought process come up and said, you know what, let's do it, Karate Combat? When did that idea just pop in and said, you know what, we got to give the fight fans something different?
Got together and we kind of started thinking about all the different combat sports and how they're framed and I started thinking way back to when everybody and their mother used to watch a fighting event, and I couldn't think of one until I thought back to about Mike Tyson, right? Where I remember when I was young, my mom would always let me watch the Mike Tyson fights because they didn't take a lot of time. You're always guaranteed a lot of action in a very short period of time, rather, and there was no blood. It was basically just until he started, and still until some of the stuff later on in his career. But earlier on, it was basically quick knockouts. And after every single one of them, he would go up and he would basically pay respect to the other fighter, in a very, very noble way, avoiding all the press and everything like that, and telling the guy that he was a great fighter and thank you for participating against me. And I just thought, if we were able to create something like that, was short form content, had an action-packed fights, exotic locations, new style of fighting arena, that's something that would really be, consumed by a broader audience rather than just fight fans as well.
And you just mentioned it, the arena. How did that concept come up? Because it's nothing like you've ever seen. If anybody's checked out Karate Combat and your guys' app and everything like that, the arena is completely different than you've seen anywhere else.
Yeah, so the pit is what we're calling it. And the pit, basically, it was me and my business partner, my COO, sitting in probably a 10 by 10 room, basically thinking about how we were going to truly make the sport different from anything else that's going on right now. And we thought about it. It's like, well, if we put a boxing ring or a cage of some sort, in a Japanese garden or on top of the World Trade Center, it's not really going to look that cool, right? So we're like, all right, maybe we'll come up with something else. So we started thinking, and we came up with the pit concept. You know, because we thought, listen, we need something that's going to basically fit in the natural environment of all these exotic locations we're going to put the fight in. So, you know, the pit blends in very well. We can put it in a Japanese garden, you know, have a very, very small crowd of dignitaries and, you know, just stream it online and everybody will love it. So, you know, if you put a cage or a ring in it, you know, it kind of looks, you know, awkward.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is that about your guys' design and the appearance that you guys put forward on your app, on Fight, on all of your other social media platforms is the ability to show the biometrics, the exertion of a fighter, the heart rate of a fighter. Was that something that you've always wanted to make sure that you showcase that aspect of what each fighter's kind of going through in a combat scenario?
Well, listen, you know, we want to capture a very, you know, we're looking, you know, I want to capture everybody, obviously, but, you know, I mean, the younger audience of like 18 to 34-year-olds are basically about 80% of our viewership, and they're also about 90% of, 80% of what's, you know, viewers in esports as well. So you have to kind of find what appeals to them, right? And they like interactivity, they like data. They like seeing, like, you know, interesting stuff, being able to compare fighters based on genetic attributes, you know, things like that. So we actually, you know, have DNA data on all of our fighters, and we display, you know, certain attributes online during the event on our heads-up display, as well as all the biometric data.
Yeah, that was one of the most interesting, unique things that I got a chance to check out on your app, and I was just like, dude, that's intense, watching that. But you know what? Karate Combat exec, CEO, Mike DiPietro, thank you for joining the show. We got to get to the big announcement, man, that you guys released today, your next venture in NYC. What is it? What are the fight fans expecting from you guys?
Yeah, so, you know, we've done, you know, we've had 3 events so far. This is our 4th, and we're, you know, launching this one in New York City. It's called Karate Combat One World. It's on September 27th. Viewers can watch it via karate.com starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be on the 102nd floor of the observation deck of the Freedom Tower at One World Trade Center. I think it's going to be an amazing event. We have a stacked card, you know, 10 fights. Bass Rutan's going to be there. Sean Wheelock's going to be there. We even have Phoenix Carnevale there. She's going to be doing some interviews and kind of, you know, around the crowd. We're going to have a bunch of celebs there as well, so it should be pretty cool. But I mean, the fight itself is really a celebration of everything karate stands for at the top of probably one of the more meaningful buildings in the world. And you know, if you look at it from strength, I mean, it's basically strength, respect, and unity. It's a perfect way to introduce it to New York City, I think.
I think fight fans, this is something that fight fans has to really take notice. It's going to be an interesting event for sure on the observation deck of the Freedom Tower. When I saw that, I was like, that's a way to be different. You guys are already different, and now you're going really outside of the box here. It's going to be a fantastic night of fights. You guys got a great crew. You just named them all off, calling the action. I was like, dude, everything's there. Everything's there for you guys. We wish you guys the best. Thank you, Mike, for joining us, and looking forward to talking to you guys more as you guys continue to grow.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure being on your show, and I look forward to talking to you guys again sometime. And you know, I hope all your fans will be watching on the 27th.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mike. You have a great day.
All right. Take care. You too.
So there you have it. Mike DiPietro from Karate Combat, doing big things. It's been one of those interesting visions that I don't think anybody really saw coming into the combat world. When you look at the placements of everything, you've got Muay Thai, you've got MMA. You don't have karate. You have all these other avenues, but you don't have karate. Now you do. And it's like all these generations, he touched on it, okay? Why are they doing the biomatrix aspect? It's, well, because you've got all these people that are interested into the guts of technology. So what better way to do it is that you've got all these social media platforms. They're on UFC Fight Pass. They're on Fight, F-I-T-E. If you're, they have their own app, Karate Combat. Just go to the Play Store on Android or your iTunes, and download their app, and you can get everything right there, firsthand, right in front of you. Look at that, Karate Combat, One World. The observation deck at the Freedom Towers in New York.
Damn, son.
They're going to set a record to having the highest combat or sporting event ever. They're going to set a world record for that. They'll be the first event to be held on top of a rooftop, essentially, is Karate Combat. We talked about how it differs from the WCL, World Combat League. More kickboxing. More tie into that. Karate is karate. Technique is technique. That's what they're going for. It's an interesting, unique style that it's like, as fight fans looking for other things to talk about than just about the UFC or Bellator. We've always discussed about, you know what? We want to be different. We don't always want to be talking about UFC, Bellator. Yeah, you know what? That's what we do. But every now and again, we'll throw a little wrinkle up our sleeve. And we'll throw out something there to the combat fans that not allowed me. Many people will go, whoa, wait a second.
It's very true.
That just happened? Yeah, it just happened right now. We brought you Karate Combat. So you guys, September 27th, are going to be in a treat. If you haven't checked out the Karate Sound singing, oh, how is karate even entertaining?
Watch it.
Watch it. I saw one of the most gnarliest knockouts in this Karate Combat. That I was like, dang, he got knocked out. And it was one of those things that, trust me, don't sleep. You want something unique, something different that can appeal to you? Full combat karate combat. It's going to appeal to you if you're the MMA fan, if you're the Muay Thai fan, because they still wear gloves. They still can throw hands. They can still throw kicks. So, September 27th, Karate Combat
in New York City, on the Freedom Tower, on the observation deck. It's going down in the pit, and it's going to be an incredible night of fights. The card is stacked from top to bottom.
Ridiculous.
So get on your phone, get on your computer. You're going to want to watch this card. In the meantime,
next week or in about 2 weeks, we'll really dive a little bit more in depth into the card and give the fight fans something else a little bit different. But you know what? We're going to go to the break, Tristan.
Yeah. We're the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. Follow us on Ducross Brothers, our fan page, Sean and Tristan Ducross. Add us on Facebook. We'll talk combat sports all day. IELiveTV.com. We'll be right back. UFC 222, the aftermath, the fallout. What's next? We'll be right back with that.
You're now listening to the Sports Warriors with Sean and Tristan Ducross every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want all your local amateur MMA news? You want a new fresh take on pro MMA? This is your show every Wednesday on IELiveTV.com and Facebook Live. What's up, everybody? We are the Ducross Brothers, Sean and Tristan Ducross. You want the most authentic MMA bobblehead? You want to go to MMAbobblehead.com. Right now, if you head over there, you can get Dan Henderson and Chuck Liddell bobblehead dolls, as well as stay on their lookout for more bobbleheads to come. Go to MMAbobblehead.com and use Ducross and get yourself a code. I'm Tristan Ducross, one half of the Ducross Brothers. Let me talk to you about Phantom. Phantom is bringing you closer to the field every day with their Facebook page. From sports, from MMA combat sports to basketball to baseball to soccer. We got every sport covered, from fans to professionals. Just go to www.watchphantom.com.
Hello, I'm Lyle Murdoch of IE Live TV. Have you ever had an idea or dreamt about producing your own show? Or maybe you just have an event that you'd like to make available online. Then contact us here at IE Live TV. We are using the latest technology in live streaming and top quality video equipment in our productions. Servicing all audio and video needs, our systems are compact, wireless, and completely mobile, so our presence is barely noticeable. Here at IE Live TV, we're doing high quality audio and video productions at a fraction of the cost of other production studios. To find us, just go to www.ielivetv.com or give us a call at 866-831-5737. IE Live TV for quality live video streaming.
What's up, everybody? We are back. We are the Cross Brothers. I'm Tristan Cross. On my side, as always, my brother, Sean Cross. We are the Sports Warriors. We do this every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bring you the realest opinions with the realest talks. That's what we do. The Cross Brothers, we just had Karate Combat on our show. The CEO, Mike DiPietro, breaking the news that they are going to, what? This is going to be their fourth event? Fourth event. They're going to New York City on top of the Freedom Tower. One world. They're going to literally tear the roof off the place because that's where it is, on top of the roof on the Freedom Tower. Incredible venue. The pit, it's going to be live fight on their app. Download Karate Combat. You don't want to miss it at all. It's going down. Incredible feat in itself. Sean, but UFC 228 happened over the weekend. We touched on a little bit last week. You got Till, you got Woodley. Woodley, the man that you made it very personal with, made it very clear that he was going to walk out with the title or he was going to retire. Here, in this instance, he did exactly that. He walked out and still the champ.
And he did exactly what many people thought he wasn't going to do. Was that he wasn't going to be able to take the distance, that he wasn't going to be able to close the gap, and that, you know what? Till is going to go run right through him. And you know what? Last week I said that. If Till can use his length and if Till can use his aggressiveness, he would stand a chance to win the fight. However, this fight went drastically different because one thing that I noticed, and the reason why this fight ended up the way that it did with the rear naked choke from Tyron Woodley, and why that there was vicious ground and pound in this fight, was that, you know, when I saw that leading, the moment leading up to the right hand that came from Woodley, was the fact that you saw Till do something funky. He came in with almost a lunging uppercut where he was going up like this with his hand. Like, I had to replay that one back and go, wait, how did he throw that uppercut? And then he dropped his left hand and kind of threw almost a shade of an attempt of what a Conor McGregor throws style uppercut and got caught with the right hand and got dropped. And it was like, well, newsflash, I could have told you that was going to happen.
Do you believe, this is what bugged me about the Tyron Woodley and the Darren Till fight, was I'm not a fighter. I can only assume how the thought process goes, just because we know several fighters that have stepped inside the cage, and sometimes their mind isn't 100% when they go inside that cage. But Darren Till said that he came in too confident. He came in too relaxed. And when he started saying that,
and too reckless, apparently.
As a fighter, being overconfident, being too loose, being too warm, I've heard it in the locker rooms that you never want to feel like that, because coming game time, coming fight time, your mind does not switch into a gear just like that. It takes time to kind of warm up, because a lot of fighters, they psych themselves up, they start thinking about certain things to get going. Darren Till, to say that he wasn't doing much in the back locker room, wasn't really getting warmed up, felt like that he was the best fighter. Being the best fighter can only get you so far. Being relaxed and not inside of himself is more of the issue that I found with him.
No doubt. When you're talking about how relaxed you can be, that could be the worst thing ever. that when you're looking at the across from your opponent saying, oh, I'm the best. Oh, wait, you don't have to get up and do anything? You don't have to be competitive? That's not how this works. You've got to be able to be competitive, and you've got to be able to compete. If you're not out there thinking, hey, guess what? I'm better than you, then we've got other issues. That's the thing that I think happened when you look at Darren Till, was the fact that he came in overconfident, over-relaxed. His technique was sloppy, and he got popped. It shows that you cannot just say, I'm the best. Because clearly, you weren't the best. And then it just erupted on the social media with Colby Covington saying that you let your whole family down. You neglected your whole family during this whole contest. You're taking shots now across the bow. And now you've got Dana White saying that Colby Covington is the next one in line. But if I were the UFC, I would pump my brakes on this and say, hey, you know what? Let's not have Colby Covington fight Tyron Woodley. Let's have Colby Covington fight Usman for the number one contender. Give Tyron Woodley a break after defending his title the most consecutive times in the welterweight division. Give him a break. Let him enjoy his holidays, his Thanksgiving, his Christmas. Then let's get into the new year and find out who's going to be relevant for his title shot. Then let's discuss what's next for Tyron Woodley. That's my thought process on that one. But what's next for Nico Montano?
Sean, didn't we just talk about Nico? Didn't we just say that Valentina was so worried that this girl was not going to show up to weigh-ins, and that many people thought that she wasn't going to show up, and here she put in all the preparation, all the hard work, all the determination, everything that goes into fight. Valentina put it in, only to get a knock on her door and a phone call that they stripped Nico of the title, and she won't be fighting for the title, let alone against Nico. The worst fear that a fighter could have come fight time is to get that phone call, get that knock on your door, and say that your fight's off.
Yeah, and we documented last week known health issues with Nico. We talked about that. But she missed weight and ended up in the hospital because her kidneys and her organs and everything else like that was failing her. Now, everybody's like, oh, that was a quick strip of the title. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you know what? It shouldn't have. And I was debating about this. That's why I'm struggling right now with this. Because do I agree with the early strip or do I disagree with the early strip? And I'm kind of indifferent on it because of the fact that Nico has never struggled to make weight. She, since moving down to 125 from 135, she's always been steady with her weight. Not having any issues, Tristan, making weight. She's fought 4 times in flyweight. Has not missed weight. So due to the fact that she's not fought in almost a year, and then misses due to weight issues, you deem it is correct and valid to strip her of the title, which prompted her to take to Instagram and make a statement regarding that she did a documentary about this whole ordeal going into the fight, that you can see firsthand what transpired that led her into the hospital. Not to mention that she also documented the fact that she was forced into this fight this month in September because she had previously asked for a fight in either November or October, not in September. They gave her the fight in September and said, well, that's the only fight you have. So right now we are in the midst of he said, she said, of who's right and who's wrong. And right now, I don't think if you're Nico, you want to test that boundary.
I also don't like the fact that when you go to social media, you call out people. And I don't also think that it's really
a really nice thing to say by calling people bullies and bringing that up, because it doesn't matter how you carry yourself or what type of person you are. Calling somebody else out for something that is totally false, because she knew it didn't. It hasn't happened once. It hasn't happened twice. It happened 3 times prior. She had every right to document stuff to make this perfectly clear that there was an ongoing issue, that she was afraid. Stripping Nico of the title early? No. Someone would say, hey, she's had 1 title defense in about a year. So that's where I'm indifferent, because 1 title defense in a year. I don't think she should have. I don't think she should have had this title this long. The fact that you can't knowingly show up.
You know what? That's a good point, because why would you let her have the title for a year? She's not Conor McGregor. She's not a money draw. So why is it that you would care now? If you didn't care, then why make her the champion? Why make the flyweight title relevant on The Ultimate Fighter? Why give an opportunity for these women to win that title?
If
at the end of the day, this was going to be the outcome, because it feels like this was predetermined.
Right, and it kind of does. It does feel predetermined. One of our guys from Fight Book, Roberto Villa, just said that it sucks because she gets stripped from the belt because she missed weight. Yet other people do worse, get slapped on the wrist. No, I 100% side with that statement. Why? Because everybody has missed weight at some point. There has to have been an underlying issue. At least I'm hoping.
The underlying issue, Tristan, is the fact that in the flyweight division, they want the Bullet to be the champion. They want the Bullet to be the money draw in the women flyweight division, because the flyweight division is open. That's the way that I get it. You want the money draw. Nico's not the money draw. So why wait a year? That's the thing that boggles my mind.
But
why
I think,
wait a year?
man, if we're talking about stripping titles, this is where the UFC makes no sense to me, okay?
Because it's not consistent across the board.
No, it's not just it's not consistent across the board. An issue that I have with the stripping of the title is because now you're going to get a title match for a title that either you can proclaim to be an interim or the real title. We'll find out more about that later. But they consistently say, we're going to strip so-and-so, then don't strip. Then they strip somebody that theoretically you can kind of, like, you might want to hold off a little bit longer before you just yank that title. Then you slap an interim title, a fake title on somebody and say he's the champ, but because this champ isn't going to fight, so we're going to slap a title on this fighter. We're just taking, it's like playing musical chairs. We're just taking titles and basically transitioning from one fighter to another fighter to another fighter.
This is where I got to give props to our boys over at IE Fight Night. The thought process behind their titles with David Bromlett and Lorenz Larkin is the fact that
October 20th,
you've got to defend the titles. Yep. If you're not going to defend the title, why be a champion? As simple as that. If you're going to be a champion, it doesn't matter at what level you are, be a champion.
Usman damn near killed himself for UFC 228. Damn near killed himself. He cut so much weight.
This guy was
dehydrated himself.
This guy was apparently 183 pounds the day before the weigh-in, and he made 170.
Dude got knocked on the door from his manager. What's your weight at? 10? No. As they're yelling through the door, where are you? He yells back, I'm at 14. His manager is yelling at him saying, we got to cut it off. You can't cut any more weight. He said, in order to be a champion, I have to shed this weight. Put on sweet sweat. Put on a sauna suit. Buried himself in towels. Said, I'm going to make this 170. I don't condone the extreme weight cutting. I don't. But if you're a fighter and you know you have to make weight. You don't want to miss weight. This guy dehydrated himself, did every measure possible, damn near killed himself.
But yet the funny thing, though, is that he didn't even fight on UFC 228. That was just one of those unique things that came out that I was like, you know what? That was interesting because somebody tied it into UFC 228.
Yeah, because he's in talks to face Tyron Woodley for that title. That was the whole point. He needed to make 170 to show people that he can make it for 228. Tyron Woodley at 170. And if you're doing that kind of measurement to make sure that you can make 170, and you are a fighter that believes that in a champion's mindset you need to do that, hey, all the power to you. It's those people that can't make weight that think that, oh, hey, I'm a champion.
See, and
give me a title.
David's
like Darren Till, just saying.
You know, David's saying that it's all about the draw. It's basically about the dollar amount. Absolutely.
Brock Lesnar, Daniel Cormier.
Absolutely. So
what's going to happen? Hold on. I want to talk about that real quick. Sean, what's your thought process? What's going to happen? We're talking about the draw right now. Tyron Woodley, Darren Till. What UFC was praying and hoping for was that Darren Till would take that title off of Woodley's waist, so they would have a new poster boy, so that could sell fights and sell tickets, because Colby Covington runs his mouth, but yet was not ready to take on a fight like T. Woodley. You have Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar, the draw, Brock Lesnar, not the draw, in DC. What would happen? Here's a question to all of our fans and everybody watching. What's going to happen to your magic legacy of Daniel Cormier that if he gets beat by Brock Lesnar? Notorious steroid user, notorious guy to come in whenever he wants.
Can't beat a steroid user?
Notorious to come in whenever he wants. Do whatever he wants in the WWE, in the UFC. It doesn't matter. He makes millions of dollars for the UFC. He takes that title away from DC.
That's the thing. You gotta protect your investment. And clearly, Nico was not an investment for the UFC, because our boys from Fightbook just said that there was a conversation that they had. Roberto was that she was waiting and waiting and waiting for the UFC to give her a contract.
And last week,
what does that tell you?
I don't know
what we just said.
Because on last week's show, I said that this fight between Nico and Valentina, Roberto, was given to her 3 different times. 3 different times. And each time it was push back, push back, push back.
To benefit Valentina.
And most of the time, it kept saying, hey, you know, it might have been because Valentina didn't want it, or it might have been because of the weight issues with Nico. But if you were given a fight 3 times, it now becomes a he said, she said game.
And that's exactly where we're at. He said, she said in this moment. But what was interesting is Andrade comes in, steamrolls Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Brutal.
And in the midst of all this is the discussion that Andrade said that she was asking to take the title opportunity and fight the Bullet for the title, for the flyweight title. I wonder how much weight she would have had to drop to make that weight. But Andrade is clearly one of the female beasts in the in the bantamweight division to go ahead and take on Rose Namajunas. You're talking about a bruiser in Andrade versus a purist in strikers in Rose, who is a very strong standing kickboxer that has shown the ability to dethrone and hold off Joanna Jacek multiple occasions. Can she withstand the only woman in the division that has star power and ferociousness behind her? I don't think Rose can keep a pit bull in Andrade off of her.
because she is completely different than Joanna Jacek. But that's probably going to be her next opponent. So coming out of this, you got Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. Okay. Put that on the same card because Tyron Woodley still can't draw.
Nope.
Yes, I was waiting for that moment. So this goes down. While it's not great, it's not good either. The attendance in Dallas was 14,073. That's how many people attended Tyron Woodley versus Darren Till, fighting which was proclaimed to be a super fight when I notified everybody this was not a super fight. The biggest fight in Dallas was UFC 171. 19,000 people showed up for that. Drew a $1 million buy rate. You look at this, man, this didn't even get close. This was like the fourth lowest fight audience in Dallas, and it would featured Tyron Woodley and Darren Till.
And Sean, and yet again, they try to take somebody that can talk and sell a card and sell a fight and put it against Woodley, and it's the same outcome.
So my question is that if this is really about the draw and it's about money to our boy David, then how is it that Tyron Woodley can't draw? What is it about Tyron Woodley that fans don't like?
Well, if you ask Woodley would tell you exactly what it is. All I'm going to do is,
okay,
that's all I'm going to do.
Okay, and then you're going to say that about Daniel Cormier? That's why people don't like Daniel Cormier? That's not true, because look at John Jones. So what is it about...
John Jones talks. John Jones talks. He sells tickets. He puts butts in the seats. He's a cocaine user, car driving, hitting somebody user.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It actually is.
You'll feel real good.
That's John Jones. Regardless if you like him, hate him, love him, whatever, you pay to see him fight. DC, you ain't paying him to see him fight. There's nothing really exciting about the guy. When he's talking on UFC tonight, I ain't listening because he has nothing that's going to pull you into him.
Well, that's a prime example.
Tyron Woodley. Last time he talked outside of this issue, has he said anything remotely relevant to the fight game, to where he stands as the greatest welterweight in the history? Where? What? Go ahead, I'll wait. When was the last time?
DC likes cake and chicken. Remember that meme that went around? The GIF?
Yep.
But you're talking about all this, and you're talking about the inability to, I guess, put yourself out there for the masses to talk and discuss your future fights. And you talk about that Tyron Woodley doesn't really talk outside of the issue that he made public. So you talk about DC not talking outside of his little moments here and there. You know what? You touched on something because it was right. Because of the fact that, when I saw Jeff Neal land the most vicious head kick I've ever seen against Camacho, I swear when he went, wow, 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 he was just going off of the tails of what I believe it was Rogan and whoever else was in the booth doing the same thing. And all you hear DC doing is, wow, wow. It's like, you can't come up with your own alternative to it. You can't come up with your own banter back of what you just saw, what your own reaction was. You're telling me your own reaction was the same as your other two counterparts? Like, no. So I get it. But I also wanted to touch on Jeff Till. That Jeff Neal was that, dude, if you haven't seen this guy fight on the Dana White Contender Series, he was one of those guys that was kind of a little under the radar, so to speak. But, dude, he put on a striking clinic against Camacho and then landed that vicious head kick that I think everybody's seen, and everybody's seen the meme for it. I mean, I felt bad for Camacho. So we're going to take a break, come back out. I hope I can get something playing here when we come back out of our break, because I think it's absolutely hilarious. So more with the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. I'm Tristan Ducross. On my side, as always, my brother Sean Ducross. To everybody that's tuning into us right now in the chat room, appreciate it. We'll get to you guys in a little bit. In the meantime, stay tuned. We'll be right back. We got Canelo Triple G. You're now listening to the Sports Warriors with Sean and Tristan Ducross every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want all your local amateur MMA news? You want a new fresh take on pro MMA? This is your show every Wednesday on IELiveTV.com and Facebook Live. I'm Tristan Ducross, one half of the Ducross Brothers. Let me talk to you about Phantom. Phantom is bringing you closer to the field every day with their Facebook page. From sports, from MMA combat sports, to basketball, to baseball, to soccer. We got every sport covered, from fans to professionals. Just go to www.watchphantom.com.
Hello, I'm Lyle Murdoch of IE Live TV. Have you ever had an idea or dreamt about producing your own show? Or maybe you just have an event that you'd like to make available online? Then contact us here at IE Live TV. We are using the latest technology in live streaming and top quality video equipment in our productions. Servicing all audio and video needs, our systems are compact, wireless, and completely mobile, so our presence is barely noticeable. Here at IE Live TV, we're doing high quality audio and video productions at a fraction of the cost of other production studios. To find us, just go to www.ielivetv.com or give us a call at 866-831-5737. IE Live TV for quality live video streaming.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ducross Brothers. I'm Tristan Ducross. On my side, as always, my brother, Sean Ducross. We are the Sports Warriors. You're one and only, probably one of the realest combat sports talk shows that are left out there. We bring it to you live right here on Facebook, and we're also on YouTube, IELiveTV.com. October 20th, Night of the Champions, IE Fight Night. It's going down. Get it, David Bramlett, Lorenz Larkin. This card's going to be incredible. It's in Ontario at the CPAC Center. You don't want to miss it. They're going to crown some champions on that. It's going to be an incredible night of fights. Just like September 15th, it's going to be an incredible night. I literally been glued to Instagram Live right now, trying to just watch all the festivities that are going on right now with this fight that is so huge. Seems to have just doubled in its size. And that's Canelo versus Triple G 2. And it seems like that because this has gotten so personal between the suspensions and the delays and the steroids or whatever, the tainted meat, you get to this point where now we're here, it's coming, and there's been so much that's been leading up to this card that I feel like nobody's talking about this. You know, we're talking about 2 failed drug tests with Canelo. We're talking about the card being pushed back from Cinco de Mayo to now, to September 15th. We got all the way leading up until this week, couldn't figure out, well, we had a controversy swirled that with a judge giving Canelo last time 118 to 110.
Yeah, Adeline Bird. We all saw that one.
Right. So all of a sudden now nobody's talking about this, but did anybody realize that there's been ongoing issues about who's going to be the ref for this fight, they've gone through 5 referees to get to now an actual referee signed on the dotted line. And they had to go to the East Coast to get a referee that has never reffed a Golovkin fight, never reffed a Canelo fight, never reffed anybody from any one of those 2 camps. Because every single time Canelo or Triple G's corner went and said, we want this referee, the other side said, nope, we'll pass. Adeline Bird's 118 to 110. One of the referees that was being thought about was Robert Byrd, which is the husband to the girl that gave the wrong score. And that's why we're here at 2. Yeah, because when you look at all the stats and you look at everything going back to Triple G versus Canelo 1, it could have easily gone this way of a split decision. And that was... It should never have ended as a draw, though. No, it should not have. It should have ended up in a split decision and going to Triple G. Triple G outlanded Canelo in that fight 218 to 169. He was the more aggressor. You were watching a more reserved Canelo in that fight. It was close. I had that fight close. I wish I could go back to last year and really figure out where I had it a little bit differently. But in that fight, they drew $1.3 million buys. And when you see the outcome of this, that split in that fight was 70-30 in favor of Alvarez. And you're talking about, how did we get here? When both fighters, Canelo got popped for performance-enhancing drug and tainted meat, pushed it off. Triple G went on and got another fight in May, went on and won. Now we're here. This fight is going to be close. You're going to need to see an aggressive Canelo. You're going to need to see somebody that is a little bit more forward pressing. Because if you're not, and Triple G keeps coming forward and keeps landing strikes, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to outstrike you. He's going to outland you. He's going to put more combinations. And he's going to walk away still the WBC champion. If Canelo wants to win this, he's got to be the old Canelo. He's got to bring the wood chipper. He's got to bring his hands. I don't think this fight's going to end in KO, though. This is going to definitely go to distance one more time. I don't think Canelo can afford to go that. I personally don't think it, but the way that I see Canelo, all the weight that he's losing, getting leaner to get more speed, the fact that he's actually making that weight threshold, I still think work rate is going to be an issue here. Because last time we saw, the last fight we saw here, we saw Canelo kind of fade towards the later rounds, and Triple G picked up and pushed the pace. I really hope that Canelo has been able to adapt and change kind of his mindset and his attitude and kind of sit back off the aggression a little bit. You still got to be able to be aggressive. He's got to be more aggressive than his last one. I kind of want to see a little bit more of his defense that he had in the first fight. Because that defense, when he was able to roll and slip those jabs and slip those punches from Triple G, he looked really good. But then all of a sudden, the defense started fading. The counters were not there anymore. I need to see that from Canelo if Canelo's going to win this fight. Triple G is going to establish his jab. His work rate's going to be there. We know what we're going to get from Triple G. We just don't know what we're going to get with Canelo. Exactly. And Triple G being the odds-on favorite at minus 155 to plus 125 for Alvarez, I kind of want to say you might want to just take a dive and put your chips on Canelo this time. You're saying go with Canelo? As much as you're thinking that you want to go with the leprechaun. You want to, in your own words, my bold prediction,
I'm going Canelo.
Man, I haven't done a bold prediction in a while.
Exactly why I just did it. I'll take it.
You just took my bold prediction right out of my hands.
I'll take the bullet.
I can in this case. I'm going Triple G because I feel like the only way this fight ends is that Canelo's got to knock out Triple G. Somebody's got to go night-night.
And Benji Estevez Jr., the referee, is going to have a fun night. Fun night.
But there's so much going on right now with this fight going in. Is that not only are you talking about the fight itself, okay? But let's dive a little bit more into the split. The split, 70-30 is what the first one was in favor of Canelo. Then when it was being approached for a second fight, you had, and this was when Canelo was popped for his steroid, or his performance-enhancing drug, excuse me.
Tainted meat from Mexico, street tacos, Taco Tuesday.
And when you look at this, he wanted 50-50 split. De La Hoya and Canelo said that isn't going to happen. You're not going to get a 50-50 split. He continued to work HBO and De La Hoya to get this split down to where it's reasonable. Check out the number they agreed on. Canelo gets 57.5. Triple G gets 42.5. Where did you get these two numbers? Who was the math genius that put these two numbers together and said, this is the split?
See,
I was like, what?
And it's interesting because this is also the final fight that will be on the HBO contract for boxing.
For Triple G.
Yeah.
Not just for boxing yet.
Yeah, for Triple G. And Triple G will become a free agent. I don't see him going to Top Rank because Top Rank still hasn't even paid Manny Pacquiao. And yet Top Rank and ESPN signed a lucrative 7-year deal, yet they can't pay Manny Pacquiao. So.
No, but that's the thing is that there's so many outcomes coming out of this fight as well. Where does Triple G fight next? Because HBO has made it known that they are relinquishing a lot of their or lowering their licensing and going forward with a different direction in boxing. Like Sergey Kozlov versus Alvarez is not going to be on HBO. It's going to be moving to a new network. You're talking about the new echelon of where boxing can be found. They're talking about Danzig now as being a major player for Triple G.
Man, Danzig is...
They're talking about that. That's where Triple G could end up when his contract's over.
Hey, wherever the money is.
I'll let you guys marinate on that one. So before we go out, Tris is chomping at the bit because we talked about Jeremy Jackson 2 weeks ago about celebrity grappling. Most notably, there was one in the headlines that there is an Instagram video of it now.
Yes, there is.
Halle Berry is training in jiu-jitsu. She is the latest celebrity to join the ranks of training in jiu-jitsu.
And only because, well, I don't know if it's only, but because she's actually going to be directing and starring in a MMA movie called Bruised. So,
and she's training right now for John Wick 3.
And the choreographers from the John Wick franchise will be the choreographers doing the fighting for this MMA movie. So
John Wick 3 is going to be pretty amazing.
Right.
And then on top of that, you got Halle Berry's new flick that I don't think anybody's going to pass up on.
Yep. So in the meantime, we are the New Cross Brothers Sports Warriors. Oh, wait. We got video.
We got video.
We got video.
We're going to video before we go out.
Video, folks.
Because you know I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake. Yeah, it's pretty clear, I ain't no size 2, but I can wrestle, and I can throw you, 'cause I got that boom boom that all the fighters chase, all the right punches in all the right places. I'm an Olympian, trying to make the top. We know that Jones ain't real, come on son, make it stop. If you're a foodie.
Oh, and there it is. There's the video that I've been trying to get up for our show. We're going to end it with that. We are the New Cross Brothers.
I'm Tristan Ducross. Alongside my side, as always, is my brother Sean Ducross. We're the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. Add us on Facebook, Sean and Tristan Ducross. Like our fan page, Ducross Brothers. IELiveTV.com. IE Fight Night, October 20th in Ontario. Get your tickets now. If you're a fighter, get at David Bramlett and Lorenz Larkin. Get on this fight card.
They're still looking for some fighters.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we are the Ducross Brothers.
Thank
Every
you,
Wednesday
everybody.
at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until next time, we're out.
You're now listening to the Sports Warriors with Sean and Tristan Ducross every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want all your local amateur MMA news? You want a new fresh take on pro MMA? This is your show every Wednesday on IELiveTV.com and Facebook Live.
I'm Tristan Ducross, one half of the Ducross Brothers. Let me talk to you about Phantom. Phantom is bringing you closer to the field every day with their Facebook page. From sports, from MMA combat sports to basketball to baseball to soccer. We got every sport covered, from fans to professionals. Just go to www.watchphantom.com.
Hello, I'm Lyle Murdoch of IE Live TV. Have you ever had an idea or dreamt about producing your own show? Or maybe you just have an event that you'd like to make available online? Then contact us here at IE Live TV. We are using the latest technology in live streaming and top quality video equipment in our productions. Servicing all audio and video needs, our systems are compact, wireless, and completely mobile, so our presence is barely noticeable. Here at IE Live TV, we're doing high quality audio and video productions at a fraction of the cost of other production studios. To find us, just go to www.ielivetv.com or give us a call at 866-831-5737. IE Live TV for quality live video streaming.